Hey, Disney cruisers, and welcome back to the DCL community where we are here to help you plan, prepare for, and get excited for your Disney cruise. You guys know me. I'm Rebecca, your host and admin of the DCL community. And today we are bringing you the news when it comes to cruising in 2026. What you need to be looking out for, not only with Disney Cruise Line, but across the cruising industry. I am so excited to learn more because as much as we love Disney, there's some really cool things that other cruise lines are doing. So I'm excited. But Crissi, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself as people are coming in?
Absolutely. I'm Crissi O'Kane, one of your recommended agents here with DCL Community. I love being a part of this group and just being able to reach out to so many Disney cruisers or Disney cruisers that are thinking about trying a different line and be your go-to resource for all things cruising. I own Triton Travel, which is an agency focused on family cruising and luxury cruising, and that's what we're chatting about today.
Yes, I'm so excited. And if you are ready to plan your cruise, whether with Disney or maybe another cruise line, definitely reach out to Crissi. That is the link to her page on the DCL community site, scrolling along the bottom. And she is here to help answer all your questions, guide you, whether it's excursions, staterooms, dining on board. She wants you to have the most wonderful time. So definitely reach out to her and start planning your vacation. Let's go ahead and dive into what's new with cruising in 2026.
So 2026 is a really neat year in the cruise industry. So last year we did the same presentation in January of last year, like, what's coming this year, what to expect. And it was a totally different year. Last year was a huge boom in the cruise industry with every major cruise line launching some of them 2 ships in 1 year. Really big growth year. And this year is a more refined year. So ships construction cycles are 2 to 3 years. And then also there's like a 3 to 10 to 15 year planning and development period before construction even breaks ground. So when we have a major year, we're probably not going to see the same amount of new ships the following year. And this year, what we're seeing is less number of ships, but much more refined and specialty ships, which is super interesting. And we're also seeing more mega ships launched this year than any other year, which is really cool. A lot of companies, including Disney Cruise Line, are going in the big direction, which is, I think, so excited. You guys know me. I am a mega ship fanatic. I've sailed all of them, and I'm super excited for Disney to be joining that genre very soon. But then we're also seeing a lot of really refined specialty ships really catering towards a niche audience, and I'm very excited to share that with you guys as well.
Yes. And I know that somebody watching right now is like, oh, mega ship. I love the magic. I love the wonder. A mega ship intimidates me. But what is it for you that you love so much about mega ships?
Yeah, so great
and why
question.
someone shouldn't be scared?
Gosh, I'm so glad you asked, because I think that is a really common question, right? And I think it's important to really factor in the space that a mega ship allows. And what you get is not just more of the same. So you don't necessarily get just like a bigger theater and a bigger buffet and a bigger everything, right? You get more. Some of these ships have 2 or 3 different like buffet style dining areas. Some of them have multiple different venues for your entertainment. Not just a regular traditional theater, but also an ice show, also of like a light type show with like projection on screens that can be windows during the day and then screens for projection shows at night. Like, so cool. So you see the most innovative technology on the ships that have the most space. The other thing is that bigger ships do have a higher passenger count. Don't get me wrong. They have 3 to 4 times the passengers of the Magic, but they have 6 to 7 times the space. So the actual space, the square footage per guest, is significantly higher. So there are going to be times where you feel the 6,000 to 7,000 passenger count. And that's things like boarding day in the terminal. It's the same terminal. Castaway, right? So now the Adventure is never going to Castaway. But if it did, it would feel very different to be there with the passenger count of the Adventure versus the passenger count of Magic and Wonder. You already see a difference from Magic and Wonder to Dream and Fantasy and then to the Wish class ships as well. So really taking that into consideration that the bigger ships do share the same land resources as the smaller ships. But on board, there's just so many more activities, and that means it caters to a broader audience. So in your family, if you have one kiddo that's super active and wants to be on all the active things, another kiddo that wants to have quieter spaces, they can have both. And in fact, they can be kind of right next to each other as well, which is just really neat and not something that smaller ships are able to offer.
Yes. Oh, that diversity of space. And I know
Yes,
it can feel intimidating, but once you're on board, I mean, even just standing and looking at the Magic or Wonder, they still feel huge from the outside.
absolutely.
But once you're on board, I mean, it becomes second nature. I mean, even by your second day, you're figuring out how to get around. It's going to be that same way, even on bigger ships. But
Yes.
speaking of adventures on board, let's talk about the adventure because this is
Yes.
brand
So I'm
new.
so excited. So Disney is finally going to have a mega ship. This was also in last year's video because originally it was launching in 2025, but it has been delayed. So it is now joining the 2026 cruise ship news. So it'll be, it's actually already sailing around now, kind of doing a supply loop and picking up cast and crew, and getting some media things as well. It was in Port Canaveral for a few short sailings, and so that was pretty neat. So we're finally seeing actual real footage of the ship. It's been everything CGI so far, but the ship will be sailing this March. It'll start sailings out of Singapore, and it's doing 3 and 4 night cruises to nowhere, which is super exciting because that means that the ship is the destination. So when you're on board, you have more entertainment than any other Disney Cruise Line ship. Again, it has different types of venues. We have this Moana water show, totally new venue, right? Disney's never done a water show before. Here it is. I'm excited.
Yes.
Really different dining. Instead of the 3 rotational restaurants, we have 6 rotational restaurants that guests will rotate through, and you'll rotate through one set of 3 or another set of 3. So you might just have to book a back-to-back so you can do all 6.
I
But
love
we have
that.
so many different activities on board. Now the ship is also catering towards the Asian market. So it is designed with that in mind. So the room types are a little bit different. And it's the onboard entertainment may be a little bit different, but it is going to be truly, but the ship is the destination itself. And I'm super excited. My family will be going as part of our annual Formula One trip. We'll be kind of pairing those 2 things together. It might end up being my twins' first Disney cruise. I'm not sure if we're going to sneak another one in before that. So their first ship might be the biggest one, but
Oh my
we'll see.
gosh. Oh, that
But
is
yes,
so
so
I am
super
so
excited for,
excited for the
yeah,
ship. I know I feel the same way. I'm like, all we've seen is CGI, so I'm
yeah.
excited to start seeing more images of these spaces. And a couple of questions. Do you think it's going to be delayed again, or have you heard anything about it being on time?
No announcement as of this time. I can't speak on anything off record, but no official announcement about a delay. But really good news is that the ship is moving. And in general, like, all ships, everybody's a little bit confused as to why the ship was in Port Canaveral, like when it's supposed to sail out of Singapore. What is it doing? What's going on? But it has to get to Singapore somehow. It was not constructed there. Um, so it's making
True.
quite a long journey. But it is also kind of going to the areas where most of the Disney executives teams are, and media is, and picking up additional cast and crew and supplies. Um,
Yeah.
so no official announcement on a delay. Not a lot of pictures of the interior spaces of the ships, which is kind of causing some rumor mill happening, but at this time it is just rumors.
Yes, yes. Be careful what you read online unless it comes from Disney. And then
Yes.
Becky is asking, I'm considering the Magic because it ports out of Galveston, but new to cruising. So want to know if I would be pleased with the smaller ship for grandkids under the age of 4. Becky, I would reach out to Crissi
Yeah.
and talk through. So her, I'll get this in the comments for you as well, just so that you can screenshot it. But I would have that conversation about what your grandkids like to do, what are their ages, where exactly are y'all traveling from? But yeah, I would get some time on Chrissy's calendar for this week.
Hop on
And
my
yes,
calendar for sure. So, this, our video is all about everything new to the industry. The Magic is not a new ship, but it was newly renovated. So, like, it would have been in this video 2 years ago, because it got new
yes,
dining and new concierge amenities. So don't consider her an old lady. She's wonderful. If you're looking at
yes,
cruising out of Galveston in general and not attached to Disney Cruise Line, you do have some nearly brand new ships coming to Galveston. Icon of the Seas is coming to Galveston. Wild and crazy news, so super exciting. So you have some really cool options to consider, and the Magic is definitely one of those really cool options. So hop on my calendar, shoot me an email, and let's chat.
yes. Oh, I love the Magic so much. I'm dying to get back on board that ship. But let's talk more about these other mega ships because it seems like almost every
Yeah.
cruise line is dipping their all the big cruise lines are dipping their
Yeah,
toes in.
the big cruise line. So, and it is true, actually, Rekha. Truly, every cruise line is in this phase of going bigger. So some cruise lines started it early. Some cruise lines are wrapping up their big cruise ships. So Royal Caribbean has kind of teased that their next class of ships is going to be called the Discovery class, and it's probably not going to be mega ships. We don't have an exact 100% confirmation on the size, but we have had multiple of their executive leadership team discuss that it's a different type of vessel geared towards a different type of crowd than the family megaships. Carnival is going to be launching even bigger mega ships in the coming years. They're still in design and construction. So they are kind of the last to join the mega ship phrase. But at that point, all of the major family lines will have a ship in this like kind of 6,000 passenger plus category. So I think that's super exciting because it means that there's just more options that have, like Rebecca stated, that have that diversity. So I'm super excited about that. But this is a cool year because these ships, Norwegian Luna and Legend of the Seas, which is the third of the Icon series, so Icon, Star, and then Legend, these are actually debuting in Europe. So this is going to be the first time that these size of ships are doing European itineraries. And then later in the year, towards the end of the year, MSC World Asia is also sailing, and there are 2 world class already sailing. World Europa was the first, and World America is sailing in the United States. But World Asia, when it launches, will be the third of the world class, and it's actually going to be sailing in Europe, which is very surprising to a lot of people. But what it's doing is it's bringing the flavors and the entertainment of Asian culture to Europe. MSC is a predominantly European cruise line, although they are becoming very strong in the United States, and they are the leader in providing cruises in the Middle East as well. But this is kind of their way of bringing a totally new onboard experience to their European audience. However, if I'm looking at a cruise out of Europe, I might want a ship that has the best teriyaki at sea, just saying. So I'm really excited about World Asia. Like, I'm more excited about World Asia than a lot of other ships, just because of the onboard amenities being totally different. Look at that dragon sculpture in the open area. That looks so freaking cool.
Yes.
So really exciting. But these ships are really ideal for those multi-generational trips, right? Like when you have grandparents and you have itty bitties, and then maybe you have one cousins that are teenagers. These ships truly do have something for everybody, and it's organized in a cohesive layout so that everybody can do it all at the same time and still feel like you're spending your vacation together. So the more the merrier is how I feel.
Absolutely. And I
both
think
of Norwegian, Luna, and are launching in Europe, but then coming to the United States. So Legend will sail out of Fort Lauderdale, and then Luna will sail out of Miami.
oh my gosh. And sailing out of both of those ports, definitely closer airport commute compared to Port Canaveral. So love that.
Yes, very much.
Oh man. And I know a lot of people, obviously I am slightly biased, just ever so slightly biased towards Disney, but it's so cool to see all these other cruise lines. And I know kids love the characters, parents and love the characters and all that, all that's great. We love the Disney magic, but some of the child and family programs on these other ships are really spectacular. Like, there's a reason that they're so popular around the world. So don't discount them just because they don't have Mickey Mouse. Mickey will always be there. Just
Yes.
good to try something new. And what about for those looking for
Absolutely.
something a little bit more luxurious?
Yeah. So this is a sector of the cruise industry, this boutique and like ultra luxury sector that has just boomed over the past few years. But 2026 is a super cool year for this sector. So these are all ships that are, the general classification is under 1,000, but I will tell you that the some of the ships, the Seven Seas, that one has 822 guests, and then Four Seasons is launching their brand new yacht collection, and that only has 190 guests. So these are like more like yachts is what I call them, as opposed to like your traditional cruise ship. But these ships are really attractive to my avid Disney cruisers that are, maybe you sailed as a child and then you sailed as a parent and now you're celebrating a 20th anniversary, or you're getting away from the kids for the first time and you want to experience something just really, really intimate and refined. And this is a really great option because you will have that just absolutely above all else top-notch service everywhere you go. And that's something that my Disney cruisers really struggle with when they're looking at another traditional cruise line, is that the Disney standard of service is so exceptional that sometimes when you sail another mainstream line, you feel like, oh, my server didn't get to know my name, or things like that just kind of drop. And when you look at the ultra luxury market, you, are getting a ship that has a very intimate feel, and two, you are getting the most refined service at sea and the most exceptional dining at sea.
Oh my gosh, that sounds right up my alley. And the fact that there is a water slide going off the back of
Yes. Yeah, so that's
yacht,
Emerald
that's
Kaya.
so
That top and bottom on the right is the Emerald Kaya, which Emerald is sister companies with Scenic, and they actually coined the term discovery yachts. I shouldn't say that's my term; that is their term. But I think it really works well to describe these types of ships. And Emerald Kaya launches in April with 128 guests, and again, just focus on that relaxed luxury and really scenic coastal itineraries.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a dream, an absolute dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think I realized there's American Cruise Lines, like America only.
Yeah. So one of my favorite cruise lines that nobody knows exists. I love American Cruise Line for its exceptional service and really unique product offering. So it is primarily a river cruise line, but this year it gets to be in my video because they are launching two ships, actually. They look like traditional river ships, but this is the key feature, is that the American Maverick is going to be sailing New England itineraries. So these are sailing out of Providence and Boston, and they will go through a couple harbors and mostly the Northern Atlantic. So technically, that's an ocean cruise. So it gets to be in my video. The other new one, the Ranger, will be sailing the Hudson River. So also a totally new, unique itinerary. What's really neat about these two ships in particular, though, is that traditionally when you're sailing on, American river cruising ships, they are older. And since these are brand new to the fleet, you can see they have very modernized interiors that are really attractive to Disney cruisers, especially people that like those Wish class ships. You fit right in. Looks just like that on the inside, even though it looks like an American steamboat on the outside.
Oh, so cool. And I know we've talked about all those cruisers who are just dying for Disney to get back to New York. They just keep asking, when is Disney coming back from New York? But this is a great option for those Northeasterners who don't necessarily want to get on a plane. It's an easy train ride up to Boston.
Totally.
I love that.
And again, these are smaller with, about 130 guests, but really neat experience and very much based on history. So lots of learning as well. Really great for my homeschooler network.
Oh, love that. And a Viking, I feel like I've been seeing Viking ads more and more lately. So
Viking is very good at advertising. So Viking is mostly known for their river cruising, and that is a fantastic river cruise line, don't get me wrong, but it's a little known fact that Viking also has an ocean cruise line. So Viking ocean cruises look mostly like this one pictured. But Viking is launching two ships in 2026. Viking Mira is going to be similar to its current vessels, launching in spring or summer. But Viking Libra, I'm really excited about Viking Libra, and so is everybody in the cruise industry. We're all watching to see how this launch goes and how its first year of sailing goes, because this is the first hydrogen and fuel cell powered ship. So this ship is going to sail with zero emissions. Now, several companies already out there are saying that they have net zero, and that is because they do things to offset. This is actually just a zero emission ship. So really, really big milestone for the cruise industry. A lot of people, are pressuring the cruise industry to become more and more sustainable. And this is the first step in that direction. I personally think, is it practical for mega ships? No, not really. But is it possible for some of the smaller vessels? I think so. And Viking is the first to do it. So everybody in the cruise industry will be watching with, bated breath. How is it working? How is the ship running? Can it handle it? So I'm very excited to see how this goes. And also for my clients that are, really focused on sustainability, they have an option that doesn't make them feel guilty.
That's wonderful. I love good for Viking for getting ahead of that. I
Yeah.
know there's so many companies that say, by the year 2055, we're going to be, zero, zero, zero. It's just, with cruising, it's so difficult, but I love to see this. This is such a great step in the right direction for the environment, which I know is important to Disney, but how terrific. And my favorite bonus slide. You can't go wrong with the
Bonus
Crissi bonus
slide.
slide.
That's what time it is. So yeah, so I focused on ocean cruising for this episode of What's New in 2026, but this is also a really cool year on the river cruising front and on the expedition cruising front, which I'm so excited. I'm honestly, the ship I am most excited about, like of all, is that bottom right corner one, the Magellan. This is going to be purpose built for Antarctica, which there are ships sailing Antarctica right now, but they're just general expedition ships. They also do other places. This is purely an Antarctica ship by Lindblad and National Geographic. So really, really excited. Also, a lot of ships that sail Antarctica are older. So being on a brand new ship, that's basically like, I like brand new ships. Okay. So I'm really excited to have more places to go on a new ship, but there are great new ships coming from AMA Waterways and Emerald River Cruises. So I'm really excited to see the river cruise industry expanding as well. Really cool new themed river cruises this year too. A lot of like foodie cruises, celebrity chefs on board, floral and cruises. And then 2 cruise lines will now be doing river cruises in Colombia, which is really neat. River cruising is traditionally more of a European thing. So having that right, closer here in Central America, I'm really excited about.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. And speaking of river cruising, Alicia asked if you've ever done one of the Disney river cruises.
Oh, so I wish. It's on my bucket list. Adventured by Disney. I have booked it many times. It is a wonderful, wonderful family vacation, but my twins are still too little. But it is on our list for sure. But you can definitely reach out. I have a lot of planning experience with that, and it is a wonderful family vacation. Definitely worth it, I think.
I was gonna say, I don't know anybody who's gone on one of those and has come back and been like, eh. It's always an amazing anything
No,
Adventures
yeah.
by Disney just has such a high level of service. And then Adrian is asking, which cruise line would you say has the best service other than Disney?
Ooh, it is a general trend in the industry to offer the best service, and service is also very subjective. So, some people want to be served quickly and efficiently, but not necessarily to build for relationship building. Some people, that relationship component is like so essential. So personally, I have found, to be honest, Virgin Voyages, which is an adults only cruise line, so not directly compatible with Disney, but Virgin Voyages has really been the strongest for me. And then Celebrity would be my next, but that's purely my personal opinion. Everybody's going to have a different experience on board. When you look at the ultra luxury, Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection is absolutely up there in service, and then Seabourn as well.
Ooh, oh my gosh, so many great options. So I would definitely reach out to talk through what your idea of great service is, and then you can back into the perfect cruise line from there. And then I think that was it. If you have any last minute questions, feel free to put them in the chat. But I have a selfish question here. So last year when we
Oh, sure.
chatted, we were talking about Carnival's new island or private destination,
Yes.
and then like a new island expansion, something for Royal too. Like I want to say it was in Nassau, maybe. What's going on with the new, private destination, private islands, and the cruising space? And have these opened? Can you go? Can you visit now? What are reviews? I want to know everything.
Yeah. So Carnival's private island has opened. It does have exceptional reviews. It's very much in line with Carnival's target audience, which is families. Lots for families to do. It is a little bit more complicated, I think, than Royal Caribbean's as far as what is included and what is not included. Like you have vouchers for food, so like 2 snacks are included, but then after that you pay. Like it's just a little bit more complicated than Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day, but Carnival's Paradise Key is open, and the Carnival guests love it. Now, do I think that it's on the same page as Royal Caribbean's Perfect Day? Not so much, but I do think that it's a step in the right direction because at least it has a pool. I'm still mad, Disney. I'm still mad that there's not a pool at Lookout. You had the opportunity and you didn't do it. So that is open. Norwegian's private island is getting an expansion, which is really important because they are dredging to build a dock. Right now, the Norwegian ships still have to tender to their own private island, which is like, you might not think it's a big deal, but it's a really, really big deal because these ships, Norwegian's in that mega ship class. Sometimes there can be 2 ships visiting. So when you're like tendering, like it could be 10,000 people if the 2 biggest ships were there, but it's like up to 10,000 people. It takes a long time. So like, the last 10, you might be scheduled to be there until 5 p.m., but the last tender is at like 3:45. So, it's a big problem for me. So that's why I personally don't promote Norwegian in the Caribbean at this time, but it's a problem that's being solved this year. And then MSC is also doing an expansion on its private island, Ocean Key, and it's going to have like an interactive marine reserve experience to get to see their efforts to protect the marine environment. And it's going to have new family areas, a new adults only area, more cabanas, and a new eating establishment as well on their private island. So there is a lot coming to the private islands as well, but most of that is construction in 2026 and launching in 2027.
Awesome. And what about that, like Nassau
So
Royal
yeah,
Base? Is that something anybody can go to?
Anybody that is on a Royal Caribbean ship can go. So Nassau is the Paradise Island at Nassau. Royal Caribbean bought that island and they turned it into their beach club. So it's not the same as Perfect Day. Perfect Day is included with your Royal Caribbean cruise. If your cruise currently stops at Perfect Day Coco Key, which is in the Bahamas, Perfect Day Cozumel, or I think it's called Perfect Day Perfect Day Mexico, is opening 2027, and but will be the same concept. It'll be included in your cruise if it visits. And it's actually Costa Maya. I said Cozumel, but the 2 beach clubs are at Paradise Island, Nassau, and that one is already opened. It opened the end of 2025. And then Beach Club at Cozumel is opening in 2027. Fun fact, that used to be a lot of people on Disney Cruise Line enjoyed Playa Mia. That is what Disney bought in order to turn it into to the Beach Club at Cozumel. But anyway, so Beach Club is open in Nassau, and it is like an excursion. So it's not included with your Royal Caribbean cruise, but you can buy your day pass to go, and it's only an option for Royal Caribbean guests. Now you can kind of keep in mind that Nassau is a huge port, so Royal Caribbean has ships, and sometimes there are 2 or 3 of them there. So that is part of why they couldn't just make it included for everybody on the ship. It's an optional beach day with everything that you could possibly want. But some really cool things is that, like, if you were to purchase a beach day at Baha Mar or Atlantis, none of your onboard packages will be valid because you're not on board anymore. But if you're at the Royal Caribbean Beach Club, your drinks package it works at that island as well. The food's all included. So all you're really purchasing is the access into this little special club. Once you're there, everything's included, the same as it is on the ship.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay. That makes me very excited because I know, I feel like Nassau gets a bad rap. People are, sick of going there because they see it on all these itineraries, and it's such a beautiful place. There is so much to do if you get out of the cruise port. But I just love the idea of giving people a reason to get off the ship there and having that space. I wish Disney would have thought of that. That would have been.
I know. It was right there the whole time. The land was right there. But I'm sure that Disney's got more and more in the works. So we know that they have plenty of undeveloped land at Castaway. And who knows, maybe it's a resort expansion in Nassau is a possibility in the future.
Oh man, my hope is just get Crissi a pool on Castaway. Get her a pool
all
somewhere.
I want. Yes. I need a pool. Pool. And don't even get me started on that, but there's the ocean. It's not the same.
It's really not. I love the ocean. I do. But being able to just swim up to a pool bar and just get your drink and go. Looking at the ocean.
Pool loungers. Yes.
Yes.
And now that I will be traveling with kids, like I need a pool. I really need a pool. Yes.
No, I'm right there with you. It's kind of like when you go to a concert and you're still looking up at the Jumbotron, even though the people are right there in front of you. You just, it's part of it. It's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. And then last question here. Do you know if the adventure is ever going to come to the United States? Not sure if I can make the trek out to Asia. Fair question. We don't, right? We don't know.
We don't know, but we can say with 99.9% certainty that the answer is no. As far as a passenger sailing, it already hailed in the United States. It did stop at Port Canaveral as it's making its way to Singapore. It was originally scheduled to hail at the Port of Los Angeles. And again, this wasn't to pick up passengers. This was, a supply and loading and picking up crew and stuff. But then when it delayed, its kind of media touring schedule changed around a bit. But I wouldn't say never, but I would say it's highly unlikely. Once the ship starts sailing out of Singapore, I would expect it to kind of remain there for a long time. But if it's successful, could Disney potentially go that direction in the future? As you've seen, every single other cruise line is widely successful on mega ships. They are extremely profitable. Not that, Disney isn't magic, but they are here to make a profit. They are a for-profit company. So if the adventure is extremely popular, maybe that's the draw to build another one. What we have learned is that we believe that the upcoming ships are going to be closer in size to the Magic and Wonder. Again, that's still at this time rumor, not 100% confirmed, but they're going to be smaller is what all the rumors are stating right now. But maybe that could change if the general vibe is that we want a Disney mega ship in the United States. Who knows? Could happen.
Yes, I know. And the biggest thing there is if this is something you want, tell Disney, right? They're very good about listening to guest feedback, except about, pools at Castaway and Lookout. But besides that, their ears are open. So I would definitely let them know that that's something that you're interested in. But yeah, I know it's a far journey, but Crissi and I, at some point last year, chatted all things Singapore, and it is now on my bucket list. Like, I have to go.
Yeah.
So
we made a video. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. We made a video that was like Singapore for the American cruiser, things you should know. And it is a ridiculously long flight. Guys, I'm going to be doing it with 13-month-olds. Okay. Like I know, okay, it is really long. You could do a stopover in Europe and cut it down to 2, like still long, but less long flights if you're on the East Coast. But you can also fly direct out of JFK, and that's what we're looking at. But anyway, it's a really long flight, but once you get there, you truly are in like kind of the, like what I call, we live in near DC, near the metro. So you're at like the metro center of the world, right? You can get to anywhere from Singapore. So you have so many options, guys. It would be so easy to do all of the Asia Disney parks from Singapore, like super cheap flights, be there in just an hour or two. You could do all of it. So cool, right? Shanghai, Hong Kong, Tokyo, all of it. Or you could stay in Singapore and have a truly phenomenal vacation. There are like tourism is phenomenal there. Lots of family options. We have a whole video about everything in Singapore. And then additionally, like if you want to do just experienced Asia, you're also, like I said, at that gateway already. So if you want to do it, Singapore and Thailand are really common. There are also other cruise lines sailing out of Singapore that do like more like Asia Explorer type itineraries. So you could do the adventure for 3 or 4 nights and then hop on Celebrity or hop on Princess and really explore while staying in your cruiser comfort zone. So
I think love that idea. Yes, best of both worlds there. And everyone I've talked to about Singapore who has been raves about it. So I know it's a long trip to get there, but it sounds like it's worth it.
Yeah. So I don't think it'll be worth it for like a 3-night cruise, right? I think if you are going for the adventure, let's talk and let's find you a back-to-back sailing to make it really actually worth it just for the cruise. But I'm also going to try to talk you into exploring Singapore while you're there, because I think that is really how you can experience adventure to its fullest, is doing 3 nights on board, 4 nights on land, and 3 nights on board, then flying home. That's just, my thoughts.
Oh, I love it. That sounds perfect. Maybe I'm tied in another cruise line to get some additional port stops in there, experience some more culture, some more food. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, if you were anything like me, you are itching right now to get on a cruise ship, whether it's Disney or otherwise. So definitely reach out to Crissi. That is the link to her page on the DCL community site, scrolling along the bottom. And she is here to help you be that resource. She knows all of these cruise lines and the ports like the back of her hand. So if you're trying to decide on exactly what ship, on the stateroom, the excursions, I mean, heck, big or small ship, and what's going to work best for you, reach out, have that conversation, and she can help you every step of the way. Crissi, thank you so much for all of this information. I'm excited for 2026. It's going to be a good one.
Me
It's going to be a
too.
great one. Yes.
It is.
Oh, well, thank you so much again. And we will see all y'all on board real soon. Bye, guys.